In a previous video, we talked about the differences between vinyl, silicone, neoprene, and polyurethane in terms of what one characteristic you might choose one or over the other, but we have forgotten bristle. The video prior is appropriate because typically those are the materials that are going to be compared against each other, whereas bristle is generally a separate conversation, perhaps maybe because it's just not as common as a piece of vinyl or maybe neoprene. However, bristle must be considered, and perhaps as a result of the reasons why you might select it, it may be the hands-down winner in lots of installations. First of all, why would you use bristle? Well, there's going to be more than one reason that will set it apart, and here is the first and foremost reason why I would consider it different and why to choose it over others. Bristle has an exceptional ability, greater than all others, to work more compatibly with an irregular surface, such as a pitted stone threshold, a alley that is decades old, a threshold that has significant grooves to it or fluting in the top of it, an irregular surface. If my fingers represented that irregular surface, you can see how elegantly the bristle contours around the extreme example of an irregular surface. Bristle does that exceptionally well. I cannot imagine vinyl, silicone, neoprene, or polyurethane being able to contour around an irregular surface. Imagine a pitted concrete surface where you need to seal that off. Bristle would be exceptional, well beyond neoprene being the second option that people will use. Now, who uses bristle for that application? People in the restaurant industry. When they are inspected. Here in Chicago, I have a lot of clients, even family members, that are in the restaurant industry, and the inspector is looking for daylight under the door. The logic is, if you can see daylight, that is where the intrusion of not only air for you or energy for you as the owner, the person paying the bill for the air conditioning or the heat, but the logic from the inspector's perspective, if daylight can get through, so can a critter. So can something that needs to be kept on the exterior of that restaurant's door. So that's going to be a very primary area where you will see bristle used, contouring over an irregular surface. And speaking of bristle, we should definitely mention some of its other attributes that will certainly set it apart, because it turns out there's more than one attribute. If you are needing to install weather stripping as an Astragal, a vertical weather seal that will be mounted on the surface of or in the area between two doors, bristle, imagine if this was installed vertically, and of course a much shorter, less substantial piece of weather stripping. This massive piece of weather stripping is for a door sweep. But a pair of doors, imagine two of these. The fact that there are bristles allow those two doors to kind of just touch each other. Now imagine fitting that when you had a couple of pieces of silicone, bulb, or neoprene, sponge, or even worse, the closed cell neoprene. You're going to really find it difficult to get the door closers to close those two doors, get them closed and latched, and be able to overcome any sort of obstacle that one presents to the other, because they're fairly rigid pieces of material. You can have your perimeter seal neoprene. You're going to want bristle, though, for an Astragal. That's just the bottom line. So when it comes to presenting a more compatible mating surface with another piece of weather stripping when used as an Astragal, bristle will prove the best of all. Moving after that, you'll want to probably consider, and then finishing up the areas where you will use bristle, you're going to want to also know that bristle is known to be incredibly long-lasting. Even though it does fatigue, you'll see the ends curl up. However, it's incredibly robust at resisting significantly extreme temperatures, especially very cold. Generally, you're going to get a substantial amount of use out of the door before a replacement would be something that you'd need to consider. It is excellent in blocking light. Refer back to the first portion of what we said. And it's even known to be good at retarding the transmission of sound. So when calculating all of these things, if an irregular surface or an Astragal is what you're looking at, certainly bristle is going to stand apart from the others. If you have any questions on bristle weather stripping or any other weather stripping product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.